Okay, Stivity versus Arbliterator. And if you guys are interested in watching more Banjo-Kazooie, tune in tomorrow for semifinal number 2 between Haganator and Dickiscon. But they're going to go ahead and start. So, Cole, why don't you do me the honors of talking about the category they're running, what they're going to be doing for the entirety of the game.
So this is 100%. So their runners will have to collect all the jiggies, all the notes, all the empty honeycombs to fill up the total screen.
Both players missing the first backflip once. Arb missing it a second time. So Stivity with a little bit of a lead there.
So here at Spire Mountain, there's honeycombs that you have to collect. So they're going to be collecting these right away.
So, what both runners have done prior to the race starting that we might have seen on camera, might not have happened.
Stiv missing that honeycomb.
Ooh, nice.
And now they're tied.
But both of these runners have set up Furnace Fun moves, which will give them access to basically every single move in the game as soon as they enter Mumbo's Mountain. And dang, these runners are just about neck and neck here, rolling on up to the 5th honeycomb on top of the tree.
So as of right now, the fastest form of movement is a roll, and then flutter to cancel the roll again. So that's what they've been trying to do all over.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note just again that these two players have climbed up through the tournament, made it through group stage, made it through quarterfinals, and now here they are against each other in semifinal 1 against Stivity with the 203, Arbliterator with the 208, not too far behind, still definitely anybody's game.
So right there was the first big trick, was bottle skip, where they had the backflip and land at the very edge of the top platform there, so they could jump over bottles to skip his text. They both got it successfully.
Saves about 3 seconds if done correctly. So these players are making their way into Mumbo's Mountain. Mumbo's Mountain, first level of the game, not too difficult of a level, just some really tight movement sections. Players are going to be looking to optimize their movement as fast as possible. Not too many tricks to worry about, but we'll see a couple. But you'll notice that right as soon as they enter the level, they'll be able to use Talon Trot.
Yeah, so Furnace Fun Moves, or FFM for short, is a glitch that allows you to transfer the moves from another file into your new file. If you die on a mini game or game over on a mini game tile of Furnace Fun, your memory address that stores your moves never gets cleared, allowing you to then, when you start a new file and enter through a loading zone in Grunty's lair, it'll transfer that moves to your new file. This will allow them to start with the moves that they need. However, they will not start with eggs, red feathers, or gold feathers, because they want to talk the bottles and get the refill, which is 50 blue eggs and 25 red feathers, because it's faster to get them from bottles than collecting them normally.
So you'll notice that both players just made their way to the top of Ticker's Tower without the use of the Termite. We don't want to use the Termite, it's slow. We don't want to have the Mumbo animation go through and stuff like that. Plus, we want to save those 5 Mumbo tokens for some of the later, more mandatory transformations. So they're able to make it to the top with Talon Trot, no problem. Stivity just with a little bit of a lead on Arbliterator at the moment.
So climbing up Termite Hill there, they did a glitch where they did slope resets. So they'll be using that throughout the run to climb up slopes that are not supposed to be climbable. So if you jump off a slope, then back over flat ground, it'll reset the timer that tells the game to slide you off, allowing you to climb up.
All right, so players have made their way down to the conga section, and both players getting the fast orange switches, with Conga not beating his chest. Ooh, but Arb missing the jump onto the tree stump, so he's going to lose some time having to go up there and get the jiggy dance.
Not having it spawn directly on you on the cutscene loses a bit of time.
Yeah.
And you'll see that throughout the run, there'll be many times where they try to get under a Jiggy spawning to save some time.
So both players shooting Conga twice and then opting to shoot Conga the third time very far away from Conga so that they can get over to the switch just a little bit faster. So Stivity with just about a 6 or 7 second lead on our Arbliterator is going to be making his way back up to the huts section in order to get some more notes and clear Juju. And it's really important when Stivity enters Mumbo here. He wants to try to grab these notes around Mumbo without waking up Mumbo. Because, again, we're not trying to talk to him right now. We're going to save the first box of Mumbo text for later.
So coming up right here is Juju. Gotta shoot eggs into him. However, it's really laggy. They can eat your eggs if they're not shot directly straight in. Or like it just happened to Arb there.
There you go, Stivity makes it through. Arb makes it through as well. And now players will be making their way down to the water for the rest of the collectibles. And what we're going to see is a lot of these players, when they're running Banjo-Kazooie, we're trying to skip as many of these little jiggy jigs, these dances that Banjo and Kazooie do once they collect a jiggy. We're trying to skip as many of those as possible to save time. And some of the ways that you can save time by not watching the jiggy dances is by either being in flight, being underwater, taking damage on the same frame, jumping in water, as we just saw with Stivity. He jumps in the water with the 10th Jiggy. And it's really important to save the 10th Jiggy dance there because the 10th Jiggy dance is a little bit longer. It's kind of a more victory dance for Banjo collecting all the Jiggies within that level. And so it's nice when we get to skip the 10th Jiggy dance. So we're going to see that a lot in the run.
And they both successfully finished Mumbo's Mountain. Use some more slope resets to climb up Jiggy on top.
Yeah, that Jiggy on top we're supposed to get with the termite, but again, with the slope reset glitch, the game doesn't actually register that we're on a slope, and so we're able to just kind of jump up to the top there.
So small little time saves here. They're gonna try to Talon Trot as they enter the loading zone, saving the animation of getting into Talon Trot.
Saves about half a second.
Just the little time saves that add up and make a difference in the run. Since we have Furnace Fun moves, just head over and open Clanker's Cavern right after Treasure Trove Cove, without having to go in and learn the move. One of the many things that makes Furnace Fun minutes faster.
All right, so both players are going to be making their way to the second level, which is Treasure Trove Cove. Treasure Trove Cove is often noted for its difficulty in the early game. Just there's a lot of sections where these players are going to be in flight, and they have to do some pretty precise movements. So they're going to be hoping to collect some collectibles in flight in order to save those animations, but also not lose flight to messing up or crash landing on certain parts. And we're also going to see our first little bit of RNG here in the Banjo-Kazooie speedrun, depending on where Blubber is when Stivity rises out of the second chip hold. Saves just a little bit of time if you can manage to get under the Jiggy being spawned, like Cole was talking about earlier. saves you just that little bit extra time.
So here we're learning flight because we want these 25 feathers. And we're going to be using a lot of feathers this level. So right here was a little quick dive, where if you slide off an edge and fall down in middle of your getting out of talent shot animation, you'll fall into the water and won't start swimming until that animation ends, allowing you to dive really deep.
Oh, and Stivity with a good blubber actually gets to stand underneath the Jiggy. Arb getting a good blubber too. He stops to cry. I think Arb's going to be able to pick this up as well.
No, just slightly off.
Slightly off of the Jiggy, yeah. All right, so we see Stivity entering the first flight section. He's going to try to grab this one singular note over here in the alcove, and then he's going to try to fly right inside this lockup chest in order to get a Jiggy. But he's going to make sure that he stays in flight to skip the Jiggy animation, and he grabs it and manages to get out. We're going to see if Arb can do the same.
We can beak bomb in this level since we have Furnace Fun moves, making the flying sections even faster by beak bombing all around.
There you go. Arb's able to pick up that Jiggy as well. And now both players making their way up the stairs for some more collectibles, and we'll see another quick dive when we get to the top of the stairs.
These stairs are pretty terrible. They make you slide off if you're not precisely on them. A lot of runners hate them.
Yeah, they can be kind of a doozy if you don't get a nice camera angle straight behind them. Both players getting a nice quick dive, and Stivity making his way over to the second flight section.
This one can be bad if you accidentally land inside this alcove.
He's going to try to grab this Jiggy in flight. He grabs it, and he's going to make his way to the Jinjo, and then he's going to beak bomb at an upward angle in order to get to the very tip top of TTC, the lighthouse. Grabs the Jiggy in flight. Very good. We're going to see Arb doing the same, beak bombing upwards. Perfect.
Very nice.
Grabs the Jiggy in flight. Yeah, both of these players having a really good TTC so far. Stivity with just a little bit more than 10 seconds of the lead.
Alright, so another quick dive to the honeycomb here. Also taking some fall damage, jumping down there, because we will be doing something called a death warp coming up at the end of this level.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of important to note the significance of death in this game. In Banjo-Kazooie, if you don't have all 100 notes when you die, you have to collect all 100 notes again. If you get all 100 notes, that's great. You don't have to do it again. But that is kind of the thing that can make or break a run, is if you do get that death and you have to screw up, then you got to go and do it all again.
So right there, it's called Nipper Skip. They fell into the cutscene of Nipper talking to you, and so they were able to jump inside of him while he didn't have a hitbox slightly after the cutscene ended, and did consecutive hits on the inside of him, killing him quickly. And as Secret Humor Man was saying, death is really significant in this game. It can cost minutes. And hopefully neither runner will have a death. But if they do, it will be very costly.
And Stivity missing a leaky skip there. He missed the angle, so he's going to go back and try to get the right angle to poop these eggs in, which gives Arb a little bit of a heads up if he gets it.
Yeah,
and there you go.
Now they're almost neck and neck again.
Important with death as well is that once we do collect all 100 notes and get those 10 Jiggies, we're going to be looking to exit the level, obviously, as fast as possible. And most of the times, that comes with just simply dying. Because when you die in a level, you will warp all the way back to the
synchronized
beginning.
flight sections.
Oh, yeah, they're both going to go for the speak bomb here. Gets it. Ooh, but Stivity grabs the honeycomb at the end of the beak bomb. A little bit more experience with the flight section, so he's going to save some time on Arb here.
This one is considerably the hardest one in TTC. Bunch of collectibles that need to be got in the air without landing.
There you go. And Arb accidentally lands at the end of the flight section, so just has to lose a little bit of time taking the shock spring pad up. Ooh, and Arb actually makes the cycle out of the lockup. That was really cool. Alright, so both players are making their way into the sandcastle for the last section of TTC. And that
One
is
of the
where we will
hardest
see
mini games in the game.
That's where we'll see the Death Warp. Yeah, it's very, very difficult if you cannot spell.
So we can also skip this dance as we do our Death Warp here. So if you grab a Jiggy and fall into an enemy, you'll still take damage. So you'll cancel that dance, but still grab the Jiggy by dying on the crab with the Jiggy in your hand, allowing us to get to the entrance really fast.
Nice, and both players get the Death Warp really nicely. Ooh, Stivity gets the red Gruntling in his way. That's another little bit of RNG there.
Enemies tend to just randomly wander around and sometimes can just get in your way at the most annoying times. And that's usually some of the causes of deaths in this game, is just not expecting enemies to be where they are. One of the biggest ones being the Anchor Room, Rusty Bucket Bay. Those guys just
not
like
knowing where the Gremlins are.
They like to run in circles.
So both players, you'll notice they went into this side room with the cauldron. They do have to activate that teleportation cauldron for way later in the run where they're going to open up Click Clock Wood. So we'll be seeing them use that cauldron a little bit later on.
So the next level, Clanker's Cavern. This level is really based upon cycles.
Clanker's Cycles.
You gotta make all these cycles in order to save time in this level. So Clanker likes to move up and down, and all his holes and stuff open at different times. And it's at roughly around 10-second cycles. So you have to like get inside of him at certain times, use his bolt at certain times. And so if you miss a cycle, you lose like 10 seconds. And so if you don't, they're going to be trying to make as many cycles as possible here.
Yeah, and I will say, just off the start, is that both of the players did decide to go for the beginning jump, so they're going to be trying to go for the little bit tougher of the gloop cycle, but the faster one, obviously.
So there's roughly 3 cycles that you can potentially get at the beginning here. There's the beginner cycle, there's the normal cycle, and the fast cycle. Div right now is on pace for the fast cycle if you can keep up with everything. Arb has the normal cycle here because he didn't make it to that bubble that Gloop put out. So you'll see them do different patterns down here depending on which cycle they get.
Yeah, Gloop is our best friend down here, releasing those air bubbles so that we don't drown. And Gloop, just like we said in the beginning, he is operating on those cycles as well. So players are able to kind of dive down at the below and know where he's going to spit out that bubble in order to get the air, so they don't have to worry about it. So Stivity making his way back up. Arb's got one more note to collect, and the Jinjo. He'll be making his way up as well.
In order to finish this fast cycle, Stib needs to make it up onto this platform and shoot eggs as fast as possible into Clanker's tooth. And he gets it. Very nice.
Nice. Making the 2 cycle can be a little bit difficult. And Arb should be able to make it as well here. Rises. Very good.
Coming up here are the rings game. Let's see what rings they get. Everybody put your guesses in chat.
Yeah, most players really like getting 21, but some have known to get 22s before.
22s are easy. So they're going to try to backflip and land on this ring here for a little boost.
Stivity's able to do it. And Stiv gets the 22, very good. Arb also getting the backflip onto the ring. And Arb can get this 22 if he squeezes in, and he gets
Very
it. Very
nice.
good. Nice.
Both runners with 22.
All right, so Stivity making his way outside of Clanker for the first time. He's going to be looking to get Bolt Jump, and it's really important that he makes Bolt Jump because the rest of the cycle depends on it. If you want to go into detail about that, Cole.
Yeah, so in order to get the fastest cycle here, you need to make this jump and grab this pole, which Stiv got. Very nice. If you jump and miss, you're going to be losing 2 cycles. And if you just decide to not jump for it at all, you'll miss 1 cycle after it. Only miss 1 cycle.
And Arb
It's all runner preference. Ooh.
And Arb misses it, and he actually got the ground pound too, so it's... Oh, he does get the jump on top, so not too bad. Sometimes you can lose an extra cycle there if you're not able to get on top of the fin in time. So Arb is going to lose a little bit of time. He does go back up. Stivity are already on the other side of the room in the windows.
Here you can... Arb's doing a backflip while sliding off the ground, so you can fall down and backflip to get back up to grab that honeycomb without going through.
So Stivity making his way through the saw blades. Now he's going to be making his way to the last bottles move of the game that we'll be learning, and that is the use of the gold feathers. Ooh, and that was good that Arb just barely made that bolt coming down.
So interesting about this room here, if you just walk around this like crease on the floor, the saw blades don't really hit you.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I think the devs made that little crease not have a hitbox or something like that because, yeah, you won't get hit if you stand along that crease. So you'll see they weave in and out to get the notes, and then they go right back over to the crease. We collect the 5th Jinjo in this level underwater. That way we don't have to watch the Jiggy dance. Again, just another way for us to skip that 5-second animation. So Stivity about 1 Jiggy ahead of our Arbliterator here.
So coming up here is snippets.
Muty snippets.
Muty snippets. So they're going to try to kill these snippets in a way so that they can spawn the Jiggy and get up to it optimally before it spawns. So they're going to do that by pooping eggs. Hope the snippets are in the right spot.
Stivity looks okay. He does get the other snippet with the eggs. So he's up there. Arb getting a nice quick dive down to the snippets. And then Stivity is jumping in the water, and this will be basically his last stretch of clankers. He's going to do the rest of the level underwater, and he's going to death warp by drowning. So we're hoping he collects all the collectibles before he drowns. That way it just shoots him back to the entrance of the level, and he'll be ready to exit and move on. Arb getting up top, able to get the Jiggy as it spawns.
Yeah, so this is swimming. Great gameplay.
Swimming. Woo, swimming.
Nice.
All right, so Stiv gets the last one, and he death warps. We'll see Arb following him out soon enough. So we've got a little bit more lair movement on our way to Bubble Goop Swamp, because we have to open up Bubble Goop Swamp, and we're also going to open up Freezeezy Peak before we go into Bubble Goop Swamp. So a little bit of a more lair movement, more relaxing part of the game.
Arb gets everything, and it is also now out of clankers.
Yeah, just about a 30-second gain for Stivity there. And the next level coming up is Bubble Goop Swamp. Kind of, again, another sort of beginner level in terms of the tricks and the movement. Probably the hardest part about Bubble Goop Swamp is the health management. These players are going to be making sure that they have the correct amounts of health in certain areas so that they don't die prematurely.
So the level is also based. The route for it is based around these yellow crocodiles called croctuses, which you have to shoot eggs in them, and then the next one spawns somewhere in the level. So we have to follow them around the level, do the level in the order they want us to do it in. It's also got two really fun mini games, Tip Top and Vile, making this one of the longest levels in the run.
Fun, quote unquote. So we see Stivity opening up Freezeezy Peak, and he'll be making his way into Bubble Goop Swamp now. Arb just behind him, making his way back to the Freezeezy puzzle. Stivity opting not to refill health on the beehive.
By doing so, he's going to be at 1 health after this first section here. So he's going to try to optimally do this first section here so we can make the leaf cycle.
Manages to get on top of the leaf. Arb going for the beehive refill, so he's up to 7 health.
He wants to be really safe.
Yeah, he wants to take it safe during the race. He doesn't want anything bad to happen. He's making sure that he'll be okay.
And this is the reason why health management is important, because jumping in the swamp will make you lose health. Div here is in a little trouble.
Missing a note. Yeah, Stivity with missing a note, wanted to play it safe. There we go. So
okay.
He's at 2 health. Lost a little bit of time, but made it out alive. Yeah, but other than that, if you're just tuning in, welcome to semifinal number 1 for the Banjo-Kazooie 100% tournament. Between our world record holder, Stivitybobo, and 7th place, Arbliterator. These guys aren't too far away from each other in terms of a race perspective, so it should be a really good race all the way through.
$18 on that timer, very nice.
One of the many reasons why we like the use of gold feathers. It makes it a little bit easier to kill the flibbits. And again, with Stivity killing the last flibbit where the Jiggy spawns, he's able to let the Jiggy fall on top of him, which again saves that little bit of time again.
Gonna jump off the very top of these huts in order to get across the top of them without breaking them, except for this one.
You technically can make it up to the top of these mud huts without smashing a single one, but that one that Stivity did smash is very, very precise. And so most runners elect to.
So he's gonna shoot an egg into that Croctus there, and then roll off and hit the witch switch, which will overlap the cutscenes, saving a few seconds.
So we saw there, Arb just missed one of the mud hut jumps. Wasn't quite able to make it, so he's got to go up again and try. And he misses it again. Having a little bit of difficulty with this movement.
Mumbo tokens are not required for 100%, since you don't use them all, and they're not counted on the total screen.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. You do need to collect 70 Mumbo tokens for all of the transformations in the game that we need for 100%, but they are not technically required. And Arb getting the cutscene skip as well. Stiv actually getting hit during the Croctus cutscene, so he was kind of able to move a little bit right there.
So this game has a weird property in that if you get hit during a cutscene, you'll regain control of Banjo. And that can also be done by jumping on something that bounces Banjo during a cutscene, which we'll actually be seeing coming up here in Tip Top. They'll be trying to jump on Tip Top during his cutscene, which will allow them to move while Tip Top is giving the turtle pattern.
So right after Stivity starts the cutscene, he bounces off of Tip Top. That way he's able to control Banjo. And now you can see that he's going around ground pounding the turtles as they're singing.
A lot of runners like to write down these patterns so they don't forget.
We have a nifty little website that remembers them now for you. Arb, very lucky that the buzz bomb kind of got out of his way there before he regained control. Didn't want to take that extra hit of damage.
So these turtles are completely RNG. They just go wherever they want to in the pattern. You want to optimally have them next to each other so you can just walk back and forth between them without having to cross all the way across.
Yeah, what you'd really like is to have just flip-flop in between two of them. Like yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow. But that rarely happens.
And you want it to end on yellow so you can be closest to the Jiggy as possible.
Correct.
You could even jump from the yellow one and land where the Jiggy spawns if you're really good enough.
So Stivity making it out of Tip Top. He is going to be going up to where Mumbo's hut is, and we'll be going into the first transformation of the game, which is the crocodile. And we'll need the crocodile in order to fight Mr. Vile.
Best mini game that has ever existed in Banjo history.
So Stivity's coming over to this little thin, narrow platforms. But Stivity, being very used to running the game, is able to jump through it with Talon Trot.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Most runners elect to be safe there and kind of take it slowly so that they can flutter their way over. Stivity having no problem with it at all.
So, Mumbo here have a small chance of transforming you into something that he's not supposed to, like right here.
Hey, we got wishy-washy. Nice.
So it's around like a 140-ish chance that Mumbo will transform you into a washing machine, losing some time.
That's actually really funny. That's the 4th tournament race in a row where we've gotten wishy-washy. So some incredible race RNG odds in this tournament.
Universe just wants Arb to make a comeback here.
So yeah, even though, you know, as a casual gamer, you know, you were really excited to see the washing machine in BK because you had never seen it before. Obviously, it's just a waste of time in the speedrun. We don't like seeing it at all. So we see Stivity doing the first round of Vile here. Basically, the name of the game is eat more of the red guys than Vile does. Otherwise, you lose. And if you lose against Mr. Vile, he has a potential to kill you.
He does an attack that does 2 damage, and since we go into Vile with 1 health, if he hits you, you will die. Oh.
Yeah, so both players. Yeah, that's basically the bottom line. Luckily, with FFM, we have the use of the running shoes, which normally we would not. So really, I won't say that it's tough to lose to Vile with the running shoes, but the running shoes do make it significantly easier to win.
We had a tournament race where someone did lose the Vile with the shoes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has happened before.
So it can happen.
Yeah, the washing machine and the T-Rex transformations were consciously put in the game by the developers. They just made them occur at a very low chance. We have only had one person in the entire tournament has had T-Rex, and that happened during group stages, but it has happened. And I think the T-Rex chance is very, very low. If I remember correctly, I think it's less than 1 out of 100. But
it's really
it still
hard
has
to
a
test these
possibility
kind
to
of
happen.
things.
Yeah. But yes, both the washing machine and the T-Rex became transformations in Banjo-Tooie.
The Banjo game.
Yeah, the superior game, Banjo-Tooie.
So the third round, it switches between what you need to eat.
Switches every 10 seconds, so we're able to keep track of what we're supposed to be eating, which gives us an advantage over Vile because he just switches as soon as the image switches.
So some Vile strategy for you guys is to try to eat what Vile's eating. So just follow him and jump in front of him to eat what he's about to eat, and you'll always be fine.
Yeah, some players like to do the kind of seek and destroy method where they just kind of look around the field. They don't really pay attention to what Vile's doing. But the problem is that Vile rubber bands. So when he is losing, he goes really, really, really fast. So it's really easy for him to catch back up to you if you're not paying attention to what he's doing. So Stivity exiting Vile with 1 health. He's going to collect the rest of the notes for Bubble Gloop back here, and then he'll be Death Warping on the Buzz Bomb to get back to the beginning of the level.
So Stiv now done with Bubble Goop Swamp. So coming up here, you're gonna use the shock spring pad to actually jump up here to Grony's hand to climb up and to get this Jiggy instead of getting the intended way.
Yeah, that saves a little bit of time. We don't have to fall through the vase later on. We're able to just kind of manipulate that Jiggy ahead of time.
You mean to earn?
Yeah, to earn. So Arb now exiting Bubble Gloop Swamp, and both players are going to be making their way to the 5th level of the game, which is actually the 6th level of the game. In the speed run, we go ahead and do Gobi's Valley ahead of Freeze Easy Peak because we're able to, and it's faster.
Good explanation.
I mean, that's why we did it, right? So it is faster, even though, you know, the casually, they intended you to do Freeze Easy Peak and then Gobies. We don't do that.
Main reason is because we need to do Freeze Easy Peak after Mad Monster Mansion because of the Witch Switch Jiggy that spawns. You want to do the flying section and the layer all at once.
That's right.
We need enough notes in order to open Mad Monster Mansion, so we do Gobies first.
See, I mean, I was, you know, technically you and I were correct. You know, I said because it was faster, and then you gave the reason why it was faster. So, you know, it all works out.
Yep, looks faster to me. It's the little saying we have here in Banjo. If it looks faster, it's faster. No need to time it. Just count out loud.
All right, so Stivity making his way over to Gobies, and Cole, what do we think of Gobi's Valley?
It's one of the best levels in the run.
Gobi's Valley is the place where dreams go to die.
Nah. This level's great because there's so many routing possibilities.
Gobies is kind of the second Treasure Trove Cove in the game in that it can be a very difficult level. A lot of things kind of have to go your way for Gobies to be a good level. Ooh, Stivity getting Swag Ring. We'll see if he can get over there. Nice. So that's just one of the many things that can kind of either make or break a Gobies is swaggering. We call swaggering because the ancients, they can spawn in any position around the map, but if they do spawn in that secondary position behind the Sphinx, we're actually able to jump to it and go through the ring with our running shoes. So Stivity actually saving one of the ancient cycles there.
So right here, we have a trick called Gobi Clip, where if you beak barge into the wall here at a certain angle, you'll sort of get stuck and build up vertical velocity, sort of fling yourself through a seam.
And Stiv's struggling with it right now. He's got to get in on this one or it's not going to work.
Ooh, and Stiv misses Gobi Clip here.
Now, Stiv missing
Now
Gobi Clip. Not too bad. There is an alternate where you just open Jinxie the intended way, but this is going to give Arb some time to catch up if he gets it.
And so, speaking of the ancient ones, every time you go through a loading zone, Gobi's Valley, you'll always go back to the default positions where the first ring was. We're going to use this to our advantage of getting all of the ancients basically right there.
All right, so Arb coming up to Gobi Clip now. We'll see if he can get inside. He's having some difficulty. I don't really like his camera.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, but he clips in. He's just got to find his way to the door.
Both of them with 1 health after entering, which is kind of bad since it's really easy to die in Gobies. So they'll probably opt to grab some health.
So Arb did pick up a little bit of time on Stivity, just not having to go through the animation of Jinxie sneezing and opening up the door himself. But with 1 health remaining, he's got to be very, very careful. Because there is a slappa at the bottom.
Yeah, there's no real consistent way to do Gobi Clip, since it's really angle dependent. And since your camera could be basically facing any direction, you sort of have to just line it up the best as possible.
Yeah, one thing that doesn't happen in Banjo-Kazooie is that Banjo-Kazooie doesn't have a panning camera. It just has a camera that clicks from angle to angle. So unless you're able to line it up specifically with your R button, it makes lining up specific angles, such as the one needed for Gobi Clip, very difficult to do.
So
they changed that in Banjo-Tooie because the camera will actually go all 360 degrees and pan.
Another thing about those rings is that they don't start rising. That one doesn't start rising until it's on camera, so they kept it off screen in order to run and jump into it. They'll be doing that a few more times. Where Stiv also got another good RNG ring. And was able to get another ring.
So he only has to go through 1 more.
Yes.
Whereas Arb needs to go through 3. So both players are making their way into the memory pyramid. Luckily for us, the memory pyramid is the same order every time, so we don't have to worry about that being different. We're able to just kind of power through. Both players back up to 3 health, so playing it safe again. Stivity managing to get the flight. He jumped all the way down. And Stivity beak bombing his way through the last ring, so he's done with the Ancients. He doesn't have to do that anymore.
Ooh, Arb accidentally jumps down too soon, so the last egg didn't register.
Yeah. That can be one of the most painful things about doing the mini Jinxie. That one did count, though.
So Stiv there, beak bombs into Grabba. One of the ways you can grab the Jiggy. You don't have to just use the speed shoes.
Although the game always believes that you're using the speed shoes when you grab it. That's why sometimes you'll hear the speed shoes music after you collect the Jiggy, even if you're not using the speed shoes. So Stivity getting a couple of very precise egg shots into Ruby's little jar. Arb successful at grab a skip. And Arb accidentally missing the target there. His beak bomb ended a little bit too early.
Stiv forgetting that you didn't have to get more rings.
And Arb with a little bit of a too right of the jar. And
Used
Arb,
a lot of eggs there. Hopefully you'll be okay on eggs.
yeah, Arb's got to be careful going into MM because you need 5 eggs at least for Mad Monster.
So right here we're beak bombing Gobi's rock. If you do it in a certain way, you can pick up his Jiggy in flight, skipping the dance. Stiv misses it.
Stiv accidentally lands. So we're going to see Arb, since he still has some ancients to go through, he's going to walk down the pyramid at this angle so that he can be on top of an ancient when it rises. Yeah, Arb kind of went into panic mode there, wasted a lot of eggs. But he is okay. He can get some more eggs in the water pyramid if he absolutely needs them. Arb looking pretty good on getting this Gobi's Jiggy in air.
But not only do you skip the dance, but you also skip the damage of jumping through the sand if you get it like this.
Stivity grabbing some health inside the water pyramid here just to be safe.
But now that the water is drained from the pyramid, we can no longer use those flight pads. We wanted to use them as much as possible, so by draining the pyramid is one of the last things that we did.
So Stivity making his way into King Sandy Butt's pyramid, but there is a special way where we don't have to go through the maze. You just kind of jump off the wall there and you just walk along the top. Stivity accidentally missing it, but it's okay. There is a backup wall that you can jump on top of.
Optimally, you get through the maze with 54 left on your timer.
Arb keeping his camera at a certain angle again because he's going to get his last ancient here. Very good. Arb staying on top of the maze, doing a really good job here.
Gets the 54, very nice.
The 54 remaining, awesome.
So you gotta go all the way back to the beginning of the level here to hit Gobi. Now we're gonna be hitting Gobi quite a few times this run. We like beating up Gobi.
Yeah, camel abuse. Arb choosing to kind of grab a couple more eggs to be safe for MMM.
We can skip dances with the speed shoes. We're gonna skip these 2 dances here.
And we're going to be collecting the rest of the notes and gobies in the hot sand. That way we can death work. And Stivity, yeah, manages to cancel the talent shot so that he can use those gold feathers just in time. And he gets out. So Stivity will be making his way over to Mad Monster Mansion, which, even though it is technically the 7th level of the game, will be completing it 6th. So just another way of us kind of manipulating the level order for speed purposes in order to go faster. Unfortunately, in order to open up MMM, you have to go to this very, very far away room in Grunny's lair. It's very, very annoying. It's a very long swim. Yeah, so we'll be watching that here from both players pretty soon.
Only someone found the way to enter Mad Monster Mansion early.
Well, somebody does find a way to enter MMM earlier than intended in a 100% run. There is a $100 bounty from myself, Secret Humor Man. So find it, and if it's faster, I'll give you $100. Easy.
So you can just roll into this sarcophagus here and grab the Jiggy, extending your hitbox in. No need to hit the witch switch.
So Stivity taking some damage from the fish there in order to get up onto a platform a little bit earlier. Saves just a little bit of time.
So lots of swimming again. Swimming sections are fun. Arb's actually gonna get this guy to try to boost him up here. We're gonna activate this purple cauldron here because we're gonna be using it later.
So Stivity making his way to the entrance of Mad Monster Mansion now. Arb getting a really nice quick dive there. Almost all the way to the bottom. All right, so Mad Monster Mansion, kind of another level where we've got some health management issues to deal with. Got some tricky movement sections where we'll just be going in and out of rooms as fast as possible. Arb now making his way over to the MMM entrance.
Ooh, we got hit by that bat there. So, climbing around the roof and through windows here as fast as possible. Alright, so let's see if Stiv gets this G skip. Very nice. Gets it. So if you land on that flight pad very precisely, so you don't grab the Jiggy and take off in flight, it'll count you as flying, and you will skip that dance.
Yep. Arb just missing the ledge a little bit there. He has to spring back up. Not a big deal. So Stiv going for something that we call hive jump there. Unfortunately, the hedge maze, it can only be exited through kind of the entrance by the front of the house. However, we jump on top of the honey hive as it's bouncing upwards in order to give us the height to kind of get out of the maze at a different spot.
Gotta poop all those eggs into the pots in a precise way so those gravestones don't hit you. Arb tried to get the skip there, but doesn't quite get it.
So Stivity doing Tumblr now. You have to spell Banjo-Kazooie, but with the letters on the Ouija board.
Super innovative.
Yeah, classic developers. Let's just have them spell the name of the game twice.
However, this one is a lot harder since the word is not written on the wall to read. So you actually have to know how to spell it this time.
Yeah, and that it has the enemy flying around, damaging you. Alright, so Arb with 4 eggs left. He's gotta get these eggs in. Manages to get it there. We're seeing kind of Arb's punishment for wasting so many in gobies. He's got to get these pots very precisely, but he gets them very well. Very well done there.
Right here for Stiv, he's gonna try to grab this Jiggy as it spawns with a jump. Got it, the Jiggy skip there. Very nice, and also fell onto a token in the whip crack there.
So Stivity now making his way over to the church, where we will have to deal with Mott Sand and a couple of pesky teehees. Arb's got to be a little bit careful here on his health management. He's only at 2 health. And again, guys, if we see somebody die in Banjo-Kazooie, that's really, really going to take a toll on their time. We'll have to collect all 100 notes again.
The Mott Sand pattern here is the same every time. So, runners just have it memorized. So, easy puzzle here.
Arb getting the same jiggy dance skip. Misses the whip crack token though, so you will have to pick up an extra Mumbo token somewhere in the run. Luckily, we do have plenty of backups. Stivity spawning that Mad Monster Mansion Jiggy we were talking about earlier, the fact that we can only get that Jiggy while being in flight, so we're going to save getting that Jiggy until we finish Free ZZ Peak. Arb just making his way up to Motsand. Stivity just now leaving the church. So he's going to be collecting a couple more Jiggies here until he turns into the second transformation of the game, the pumpkin.
The cute little pumpkin.
And some people have called him an orange. Some people have called him a basketball. The other semifinal is going to be Dick versus Haganator. So interesting, Arb went ahead and got the Jiggy in flight there. I can't recall if Stiv did that or not.
Stiv did not.
Yeah, Stiv did not. He just went ahead and grabbed it.
It's not that much more of a time save to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Be a lot riskier.
So Stivity making his way. The good thing about the pumpkin is that the pumpkin does not take... God, I had to watch Arb there for a second. I was very worried about him. So the good thing about the pumpkin is the pumpkin doesn't have any dance animations. So any Jiggy or collectible he picks up, there's no animation. So you'll see he doesn't do the Jiggy dance. He just goes ahead, grabs a Jiggy, and leaves. So we try to pick up as many of the Jiggies as we can with the pumpkin.
So we used to do the well as BK because we thought it was faster. For some reason, people just assumed it was faster. They're like, "Yep, it looks faster to me." And they could have thought, "How could using the well as the pumpkin be faster?" And then they were all proven wrong by a Let's Player, and that the well as the pumpkin is faster.
Pretty incredible story.
So don't let your dreams be dreams. Do baby strats.
They might be faster. So Stivity now exiting from Mad Monster Mansion. He's got to do some stuff with the pumpkin in order to access a later part of the game. So he's going to be making his way over here to the shed. Arb making sure to grab a couple eggs around the top of the roof because he will need a few eggs to do Free ZZ Peak.
So we gotta hit this water switch to raise the water. Oh, what is this? Oh, it looks like Stiv reset. I guess he wasn't happy with this run.
So Arb wins.
Congrats, Arb.
Stivity just wasn't happy. He was probably a minute behind PB pace, so it's over. Thanks for watching, and oh wait, what's this? Stiv actually isn't giving up. He's re-entering his file.
Oh, looks like he's continuing anyways. Oh, okay. I guess he was just resetting to quickly get back here to get to this Jiggy.
Oh,
Not
that would make sense. If it is faster, that would make sense.
But I for one, like to do my speedruns in a single sitting, so resetting in a speedrun, that's a no-no.
So yes, the reset there was intentional. It is faster to access the earlier part of the layer quicker by resetting, so we just go ahead and do that rather than have Mumbo turn us back into the pumpkin in order to turn us back into BK. So Stivity making his way over to the 5th level of the game, even though we do it 7th for ZZ Peak. Arb doing the same reset. We always seem to get at least one. At least one person falls for it every single time.
So here for
we'll
Twinklies.
See how many people do you think will get it at SGDQ?
That'll be
however many people watching, or just suddenly like, oh my god, he resets! Stop the timer. We'll probably freak out today.
We're gonna try to convince them, and maybe the GDQ staff will even fall for it, and maybe they'll reset the timer.
They reset the timer. That would be so bad.
So for Twinklies here, if you just kill the first one and keep them off screen for the rest of them, their hitboxes just don't activate, and you just sit there on the box.
Yeah, so you can still hear them spawning, and they'll still like growl at you, but they won't actually eat any of the Twinklies. So we're going to see Stivity go for YOLO Star here. Gets the beak bomb, jumps through, flutters through, ground pounds through, manages to get it. That's just a little bit faster than flying through the star all 3 times. Takes a little bit longer to turn around and fly back through the star and things like that. So. So Stivity is going to be making his way back over to the Christmas tree in order to grab one of the first kids' presents, as well as the Jiggy inside. So in Free ZZ Peak, they actually have Banjo and Kazooie play the role of Santa Claus because their father is too busy overeating and gambling in order to get them Christmas presents. So, happy Father's Day, everyone. Sorry if
he's too busy cracking open a cold one with the boys to give presents to his sons.
Yeah. Arb also getting YOLO Star. Very good. Stiv is making his way to bopping all of these Sir Slushes on the hat in order to kill them. Both players just spawning jiggies. Ooh. Arb missing the pipe jiggy. He's going to use his last feather in order to collect this in flight, and he gets it. Nice. Oh, no. Not like this. Oh, he actually jumps up and gets the sled. Nice. I thought he was going to slide down the scarf for sure. All right, so we see Stiv has turned into the third transformation of the game. He's turned into the walrus. Not everybody's favorite transformation. The Xbox version is essentially the same, it's just that the Xbox version has less lag, but no text skipping, so.
Yeah, for some reason they didn't map the L button. It's like Microsoft didn't play the own game that they were porting, didn't realize that it was a function. So, and also on the Xbox version, when you die, you keep your notes, so unlike the N64 version.
Yeah, we've got waheys going on the left side, so if you guys want to spam your waheys, you're more than welcome to.
Please spell it correctly. W-A-H-E-Y. So we're actually going to be collecting quite a few things during this race. So we might as well collect it while we're going through.
Yeah, the good thing with Boggy is that when he's ahead of you, he moves really, really slowly. You know, classic rubber banding mechanic. And so when you let him pass in front of you, he goes so slow that you're able to collect some stuff while you're racing him, and then you know, get back to the race. Stivity making sure to grab this Mumbo token in the water. He's making his way back to Mumbo's hut, whereas Arb is just making his way out of Mumbo's hut.
Walrus is just really slow.
Yeah. And you want to make sure that while you're the walrus that you're not jumping unless you're going uphill, or unless you're changing directions immediately. Otherwise, Brad will kill you. So you can keep those waheys going. We have our Arbliterator doing some waheys on the right side of your screen now.
You can see him getting these notes around the right side of the leg. It's called right leg strats, which most of the top runners are doing now, which will save us having to go back down there sometime other in the level to grab them. But it's very precise. And if you just slightly mess up your movement, you'll have to restart the race.
Yeah, we've seen some boggy race resets in the tournament so far. That's a great question. Why is it called right leg when it's a snowman's left leg? From our perspective, it is the right leg, so that's why we call it right leg strat.
It's because Snowman actually has two right legs.
Feather management is kind of important for things like YOLO Star and beak bombing the snowmen, but we collect so many feathers on the way up the scarf that it's not too big of an issue.
Last at the top, the snowman. We're actually gonna beak bomb back to the entrance because that's where the igloo is. Gotta go deliver these presents to the kids because their dad won't deliver them for him.
We do not collect the ice key in this run, no. So Stivity's making his way down these really steep ramps. He's just making sure to go kind of left and right in order to collect the notes on the way down. And he'll be going into Boggy Race number 2, so you guys can get those wahays going once again.
So we'll be going around the other leg in this race.
Mm-hmm. Going around the left leg. Snowman's right leg, if you will. And I was going to say something about Boggy, but now I cannot remember what I was going to say.
The terrible father.
Terrible father. The semifinal between Haganator and Dickiscon is going to be tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern, I believe. So if you're interested in some more Banjo-Kazooie racing, you can watch our semifinalists, our other pair of semifinalists, face off tomorrow night. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So yeah, even though we don't collect the key, the ice key or the mystery eggs, it is still 100%. That stuff actually does not count as part of the game's totals. 100% is collecting all of the game's totals. So those are all 100 jiggies, all 900 notes, and all 24 empty honeycombs. So if we were to collect the stop and swap, that would be part of max percent. However, we don't do that in this run.
So we wanted to enter the cave with 5 health so we can make it through that tunnel there.
And Arb accidentally triggering Boggy text there, so he had to say no, and he's going to have to trigger him again. So Stiv getting out of Freeze Easy Peak now. He's going to go ahead and do the lair flying sections all in one go, rather than having to do it in 2 separate trips. You see Arb going around the left leg now. So able to extend Banjo's hitbox there with the beak bomb. That way we can pick up the jiggy through the wall. Arb coming up to the end of the second boggy race.
So funny enough, right here in Waz's cave is the only instance you'll see the extra long jiggy dance for 10 jiggies. You end up skipping all the rest of them in the run.
Yeah, so Stiv is coming up to what some people kind of view as one of the tougher levels of the game, Rusty Bucket Bay. Really the only tough part of Rusty Bucket Bay is the engine room, which both players have a lot of experience with the engine room. They both should be okay. But we have had some engine room problems in this tournament, and it could happen again right here. Arb making his way over to the fight section now. Grabs the first one in flight.
Div now entering engine room.
No, here we go. We're going to see how it goes for him.
Bunch of moving parts and fans that you have to go through.
Yeah, moving cogs, moving fans, getting the right knockback, not getting knocked off by this Grublin here in the beginning as well. All things that could happen. But Stiv making it through pretty fast. Actually misses the jump on the second pipe, so he's going to have to do engine room again. So this is going to give Arb a little bit of a chance. That is about a minute time loss.
That was about 30 seconds.
Dying there in the beginning. So, yeah, we're going to see Arb pick it up a little bit here. Arb still has to open up RBB, though, so Stiv has plenty of time. So Stiv accidentally jumping in the honeycomb part again. We're going to see him make his way up. So Stiv does have to collect all these notes again. He's going to have to basically do the exact same movement. And hopefully he gets on the right side of this pipe. Grublin kind of in the way. Gets the second jump. Good. And now he's going to be making his way. Oh my gosh.
Arb is going to be pretty close to him now.
So Stiv... Does he get the void? No, he doesn't.
Nope.
He misses the void. So now, it is dead even.
Basically even now. Anybody's game.
All right, so Arb has just picked it up big time. Only about, just about 10 to 12 seconds behind Stivity now. All right, so we're going to have to see if Arb's anxiety about engine room gets to him as well. Obviously, he's got to collect some more stuff in the room than Stiv did. All right, Stiv making his way down again. Accidentally jumps in the honeycomb part. Goes for the jump because he knows he's behind. So the cogs are going to be moving in a different position now. They're actually going to be slowing down here. Gets one. Gets two. Very good. We see Arb doing the same. And Stivity at the first fan switch. So Stiv should be okay now. He should be okay. If he gets the right fan knockbacks, he should be more than fine.
We're going to try to jump through these fans by taking damage and going through an invincibility frames.
All right, so Arb is right behind him at the first fan switch. So we'll see how it keeps going. All right, so Stiv's got to make it through. One more fan switch here. Arb's got to go through two. Ooh. Arb getting a bad knockback. He's got to go through it again. All right, he does get through the first one. Stiv gets through the second one. Stiv should be okay to get out of engine room here. He's just got to clip through the engine room wall. Arb's got to do one more fan cycle here. We'll see how his looks. He's lining it up. Looks pretty good. Okay. Gets a little bit of an angle, but makes it through. Very nice. So, which one of these players is going to clip through the engine wall first? Let's find out.
Div having a little trouble going through the window.
For right now,
Arb's actually catching up here. He's resetting the fan, and Arb.
Oh man, and Stiv gets through. And Arb gets through.
Gets through. Dang. It's even closer now.
Arb misses a note. He has to go back. So Stiv is up and out of the porthole first. But man, guys, from a 2-minute loss to basically a neck-and-neck race, we're in for a real treat here, finishing up this race. All right, so both players with plenty of time on the clock in order to get the propeller jiggy and rise above the surface in time.
So interesting, this water takes double air, either in the water or on the surface. Arb's still right behind Stiv.
Yeah, Stiv doing some quick climbs to get up this ladder just a little bit faster. They're going to be making their way over to the witch switch, and then they're going to be making their way into Boss Boombox. And the interesting thing about Boss Boombox is neither of them are actually going to defeat him. They're just going to grab his Jiggy basically without him knowing.
So if you shoot some eggs into him before he pops up, you'll activate, but the cutscene doesn't play, so Jiggy is still there.
So Stiv missed the Jiggy grab there, so he actually did end up killing him. Both of them ended up killing Boss Boombox. So they both missed the, if you grab the Jiggy again at the same time that Boss Box damages you, you can grab the Jiggy, recoil with it, skip the Jiggy dance, and just bounce on out of there without worrying about him. Well, both players missed, and so they ended up having to use a gold feather to kill him. Both players will use the calculator.
Technically, they didn't kill Boss Boombox, so we're not liars. He splits up into smaller ones after you break the first one.
So Arb just now exiting the blue box as Stiv enters the second blue box. These rooms are pretty fun to speed run. You just kind of go in and out as fast as possible. Quick movement, especially with the camera angles.
Last room's the Chomper room. They're gonna try to jump past them, grab the notes without getting hit.
And without killing the Chompas as well. Stiv makes it through, very good. See if Arb can do the same. Yeah, Arb doing Chopper Room like a boss as well. Arb with the double slope reset there to stay in Town Trot the entire time. Now players will be making their way back onto the boat in order to finish up the rest of Rusty Bucket Bay. They've still got to go into the kitchen and the captain's room and the navigational room. And the navigational room is kind of a spooky room. Can be known to soft lock the game.
So right there, they did a
jump. Yeah.
Precise jump from the edge of the crane to the ship there.
Arb going for it too, makes it. Very good.
Nice.
And that saves all the time of climbing back on top of the train.
Train? There's no trains in this level.
Crane. My bad. I don't know why I said train. Got Banjo-Kazooie in my head.
I'm gonna try to keep their cameras zoomed in while climbing across the top up here because it lags a lot.
Yeah, not a whole lot of lag in Kazooie, but when you do have to load as much of the level as possible, that's when it can get a little laggy. So these guys keep the camera zoomed in order to go the fastest as possible. Stivity making his way down to the whistles. Takes some fall damage and recoils off the edge in order to gain control of Banjo again as quickly as possible. Arb's going to do the same. He actually does a ground pound from higher up. No rocket jump from Stiv. No rocket jump from Arb. All right, Stiv making his way into the nav room. This room can soft lock the console if you're unlucky. Looks like Stiv's got to go back for one more note.
Usually happens if you go for the notes first and then get hit.
Yep, both players making it out of the nav room safe. Very good. So yeah, pretty surprising how quickly things have kind of caught up. Arb just a little bit behind him now.
Actually kept up with Stiv's pace throughout the bucket.
Yeah, he's actually less than 10 seconds behind.
Hey, doing a damage boost up to those notes. There will be a death warp at the end of this level.
Okay, so both players are going to be making their way into Anchor Room now. Arguably the deadliest room of Rusty Bucket Bay besides Engine Room. There's a lot of Chompas in here. There's a lot of Grublins in here that can kind of walk around and bump
Sailors are like all in blind spots, and they just run in circles around the room and then just can hit you if you're not aware.
Yep.
So going in there with low health can be really risky.
So there you go. Arb getting hit once by them. The camera angle
twice.
swaps on him and he gets hit twice. But it looks like he'll still be okay. Oh, he actually does want to kill one for some extra health. He wants to make sure that if he does get tagged by a Champa, that he does not die. Because the Champas, they can do 1 or 2 damage depending on how you get hit by them. And obviously, he was only at 2 health. He did not want to die. Even though he does have all 100 notes, he would have to collect all 5 Jinjos again because he doesn't have the Jinjo Jiggy yet. And that would be an incredible waste of time. So, playing it safe, making sure that doesn't happen.
So we can do a Jiggy dance skip here. Jumping onto the Jiggy from out of the water. Skip the final dance.
And Arb choosing to do the Jiggy dance skip in the old way, where you just jump off of the buoy with the Jiggy in hand.
Which
a little bit tougher,
slightly faster, but
slightly
it's
faster.
also tougher.
Yep. So Stivity ending his life on the boat. And he is done with Rusty Bucket Bay. And he'll be making his way to the last level of the game, Quick Clock Wood. And Arb not too far behind.
While we're in this room, we're gonna talk about another bounty for this game. There's a $160 bounty, I think it's what it's at now, for climbing up this type of wall that's up here by the note tour. There's many places in the game where you go up to certain corners, you'll collide with actually 5 walls, and you'll get sort of stuck. And if you can get stuck, you are able to jump off of nothing along the wall, climb upwards. So this is actually what is used for the full Furnace Fun skip, but they're trying to find places throughout the game that it can be used. So Brad has a bounty out for finding places that this works and being able to successfully do them. And if you can successfully climb up the wall next to that note tour, you can win this bounty.
$160, wow. Both players doing leaf jump to get up to this switch a little bit faster. And they're both going to be making their way back with the orange cauldron in order to open up Click Clock Wood, the last level of the game. And I know Stiv does not talk to Brentilda. Do you think we're going to see it out of Arb?
I think Arb talks to him. Or her.
It's an orange-ish cauldron.
But he may be skipping it since it's such a close race. Oh, it's Stiv actually talking to Brentilda.
Wow, so Stiv talking to Brentilda, wanting
He wants to play the
safety. Yeah, he wants the safety there. So we'll see if Arb decides not to. And Stiv actually had to battle with the Grentilda text there. He had to cancel Grentilda text.
And Arb actually choosing not to.
Not doing it. Not even grabbing the Mumbo token either.
So they're both even closer now.
Ooh. So now it's even closer. Yep. Stivity making his way back over to the Click Clock Wood lobby.
So coming up here in Click Clock Wood, they don't really have to die to turn around this race. Just falling off the tree can be a big time loss because you'll have to climb back up. There's just one miss jump and the race can turn over.
Yep. Alright, so Arb not too far behind now. Choosing not to talk to Brentilda. That could screw him in the end, or it could help him in the end. You know, you never know. Brentilda's pattern is completely random. So, Stivity got some clues, but we don't know.
I'll explain this better for the chat. So in Furnace Fun, there are Grunny squares. And for these squares, Grunty will ask questions about herself. And there are 255 possible patterns that these questions can be chosen from. And that's random for every file. So we actually have a calculator that has all of these patterns built into it. So if we talk to Brentilda into the run, we can actually type those answers in and start narrowing down patterns that could possibly be on our file. And so we can start doing guesses on questions that have the highest possibility of being the correct answer, which will help us get through Furnace Fun with the least amount of questions wrong.
Ooh, and I thought Stiv was going to slam that summer switch without hitting the Grublin, but luckily he decides he doesn't want to do that.
Excuse me, those are called Arbliterators.
So in this level, we're going to be playing the role of Mom, because Irie's parents abandoned him in the nest and they flew the coop. So we're going to have to feed him and help him become a baby bird. Or rather, we're going to have to feed the baby bird, help him become an eagle.
So right here, they're gonna get stuck along this slope here, and they're gonna build up vertical velocity and clip through the ground.
Stiv getting spring clip pretty quickly.
And
Arb
so
right on his tail though, actually picks up some time on him.
This will let him fall through the level into a void out. And a void out's different than a death in that if you void out, it'll just bring you to the start of the level, but you don't lose any of your progress.
So Arbliterator only about 7 seconds behind Stivity here. Stivity missing the first leaf jump. No, but Arb misses it too. And gets hit by the Grublin.
The summer Arb.
The summer Arb, yeah. The no shirt and sunglasses Arb. Alright, so they're going to be making their way up. For the first Jiggy and Click Clock Wood that we collect is the Zubbas. They're going to be using those gold feathers in order to kill Zubbas.
So they're jumping around these cluckers here.
Big
They
clunkers have the same
that-
properties as the Champas that do 2 damage.
However, each season they grow in size.
Yeah.
So when it comes to fall, it's really hard to jump around them.
They're freaking huge.
So killing the first one in a run will actually trigger a cutscene. So they're going to be trying to avoid that triggering that cutscene ever. So they won't be killing any of them. So we're gonna abuse Gobi some more here in the summer.
Yeah, so I guess, do you want to kind of talk about Softlock here, Cole? Since
We'll talk- we'll
they've hit
talk
Gobi for
about
the
it.
last time.
We'll talk about it when they get this.
Okay, sounds good.
But yeah. So we're actually not gonna grow the flower in fall for the last time like we were supposed to. We're actually gonna grow it again in spring too.
Yeah, the runners heard your cries, guys. They heard that, that we don't want to abuse the camel, so they're going to actually avoid hitting Gobi one more time. And they're going to do a different strat in order to get the flower Jiggy. So both of these players making sure that they're grabbing the right amount of worms. They have to feed Irie 5 worms in summer and 10 worms in autumn in order for him to grow up into an eagle. Stiv going with some leaf jumps here. Looking very good.
Whew, Arb almost falls there.
All right, so Stiv going for Summer House. Big jump to the corner Jiggy here. And Arb going for it as well. Big jump. Both of them get it. So Stivity showing his prowess at climbing up the tree, at avoiding enemies, things like that. You can see that even though he only had a 7-second lead, he's definitely picked it up against Arb here. Just a little bit by bit. Already starting the feeding of Irie. And these players have to make sure that they collect 25 Mumbo tokens in order to turn into the last transformation, which is the bee. We'll be seeing the bee in Spring 2 when we re-enter. So Stiv dropping down to get one more worm before exiting summer. And they'll be making his way to autumn. Autumn is the longest season of the game. We collect a lot of Jiggies and a lot of notes in autumn. And yeah, autumn's also the easiest place to fall off the tree. So we're going to have to pay attention to both of these players climbing up the tree. Hopefully they do well. Hopefully it looks good. Because anybody falling at this point might seal the deal on this race. The finals are up for grabs. Which player will advance?
There's just a bunch of note collecting in this season. Just gotta go all around the tree.
Mm-hmm. And up into naughties. Arb still keeping a good pace, just right behind Stiv.
So there looks like Stib's opting to get this Jiggy in fall. You can get it either in fall or winter. It's harder to get in winter, but it's slightly faster.
Less lag. And you obviously pick it up in flight.
Wow, spoiler. Arb also opting to do the same.
Getting the quick dive on the way out, too. Very good. So Stivity making his way. We're not going to slam Gobi like we said. We've got a special trick coming up for you later on. Stiv hugging the edge of the tree here to avoid the cluckers. Jumping around. Grabbing some more worms. Remember, we need 10 worms. 10 worms to feed for Irie, so that he'll grow up big and strong and poop out a Jiggy for us. Stiv getting a nice buzz bomb spawn there. Didn't have to kill it. He was able to just run right by him.
Now he's on to collecting the acorns, which have really small hitboxes, so you really have to go down the center of them in order to grab them.
Oh man, and I was worried for Arb there. He had a little bit of a worse buzz bomb position, but still managed to make it around him, no problem.
Div missing this acorn with a terrible hitbox. Grabs the one in the air.
Gave Arb some issues as well, so Stiv is going to feed the 6 acorns to Nabnuts here. That is Nabnuts, that is not Conquer the Squirrel. Contrary to popular belief. And now Stiv will be making his way over to Irie in order to feed him. Both of these players making sure that the angle they get on Irie is a good one. Because of all the leaves falling in autumn, it can seriously lag up the game. And so we just always want to make sure that we get a good camera angle on feeding Irie. Don't want to lose too much time. All right, so Stivity grabbing the last little bit on the nest, making his way down to the second snare bear.
Now X the infall.
And we're coming up to what is technically the most mechanically involved level, Winter. We're going to see some flying out-of-bound clips.
Bunch of flying sections in this season. And it looks like they had some pretty good seasons so far. None of them have fallen so far. Stiv with 50 feathers, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be going through like 40 of them in this season.
About a 20-second lead as well, Chloe. So Stiv already done with the first flight section there, hitting the witch switch, and he'll be jumping down and hitting the flight pad once again.
Arb a little bit low on feathers. Bomb up to the top here to go inside this door section.
Arb right on his tail. Peak bombing up here. Making sure to slam the guy, not give him any problems. Stiv's is going to be making his way onto the branches, and then he'll be making his way up to Irie. Yeah, and we're just seeing really good gameplay from these guys. I mean, obviously, Stiv had the 2 deaths in Engine Room, but both of these players are at a top level of skill. Very, very mechanically performers, if you will. Doing very, very well in their performances.
So grabbing Jiggy in flight, bombing up here for this Jiggy. Jumping down to get into this room.
And they're going to poop an egg onto the window rather than beak bombing it.
So they're going to be very, very careful in this room so they don't die.
Like that one kid. Alright. And Stivity's going to be collecting the last 4 notes here of Winter. And Stivity's going to be going for those Winter clips that we were just talking about, those out of bounds. So let's see what happens. He's going to go for the first one up against the tree.
So if you can angle yourself up against the wall, your camera at a certain angle, you can clip through some weak seams like that. We can beak bomb into Naughty's house here. Grab this honeycomb.
He's got to circle back. Arb now starting the flying section. He grabs the honeycomb. He's going to go for the second out of bounds clip now to exit Winter. And he gets it.
So now he's going to void out. Bring him back to the center of the level.
Arb getting it on the first turnaround. He's going to be going for the out-of-bounds clip now.
And he gets it. Very nice.
Awesome. Yeah, great job from these players. Like I said, just top skill. They're very used to doing what they're doing. And now, Cole, I think it's time that we talked about the soft lock.
So coming up here, we're going to be pooping more eggs into the flower. Usually you're supposed to water the flower and fall, and the Jiggy's supposed to spawn and fall. However, you can still poop more eggs into this flower if you come back this spring, and it'll still trigger the Jiggy spawning. However, the game breaks thinking that because it's not supposed to spawn here, and the camera will be stuck in a fixed position and Banjo can't move, so it'll soft lock. However, if you get hit in a cutscene, as we said earlier, you'll gain control, and so you can actually move while this camera is in a fixed position.
Yeah, so even though the camera is fixed, we know where we're going. Stiv got hit by the bees. He's very used to this movement.
So they're going to be navigating with this camera locked like this into Mungo's skull.
There you go, Stivity gets in.
And so they're using sound cues to know exactly where they are and how many jumps they've done.
Yeah, and it's really important because if you don't know how to get out of soft lock, you basically have to just kind of save and quit or exit.
And Arb also gets it. Very nice.
Yeah, nice. So both players successful with soft lock. They're going to be making their way up as the bee. Stiv is going into Furnace Fun with a Brentilda pattern eliminated. Arb does not. So, you know, it is Stiv's game to win. It is Arb's game to lose. So it is going to be, it's going to come down to, you know, Furnace Fun skip. Does either player screw it up? It's going to come down to the Grunny fight.
Just come down to luck. You can get a Grunny question on a death square.
Very true.
Wrong.
Yep. Could get a grunty question on the Joker square. Have to redo FF. We'll see.
Stiv collecting the last Jiggy in the game and heading over to Furnace Fun.
Both players doing beat clip to exit. There we go. Arb just now finishing Furnace Fun. Or I mean, Quick Walk Wood, rather. So with Arb collecting this last Jiggy, both players are technically at 100% completion. They just have to defeat Brentilda. Or I mean, Gruntilda.
Gruntilda.
They have to defeat, well, they have to defeat Brentilda, and then they have to defeat Gruntilda. Am I right?
No, it's the grunny question.
Yeah, I know. All right. So we'll see what happens here. We're going to be paying attention to Stivity's Joker square first.
So these squares have different types of questions: general trivia questions, picture questions, sound questions.
And Stivity actually going to the right in order to eliminate one pattern first.
Grunny questions, and then there's Joker questions where if you get them right, you will get 2 Joker cards that you can use to skip squares. And there's mini game squares, which will be using the Joker card.
So Stivity actually getting one of the grunny questions right in order to just eliminate a pattern. Arb did not. He went to the left first. So Stivity's question, it is a sound choice, so that will be easy for him to get correct. And let's take a look at Arb's. And Arb's is also a general knowledge question, so easy for him to get correct as well. So Stivity with the advantage, still 2 questions ahead of Arb. And again, Arb does not have any patterns eliminated right now, so it's going to be completely up to RNG. Arb missing 1 grunny question. Arb missing 2 grunny questions. Arb only missing 2, so not too bad. See what happens. Stivity on the death square gets a voice question, gets it right. Stivity getting the next grunny question correct. Very nice. All right, so Arb is coming up to the death square. Let's see what kind of question he gets. All right, he gets a music question, so that's good. Easy one to tell there. And Stiv is coming really close. Arb on another grunny question.
So what's coming up here is what we call Furnace Fun Skip, where if you on a death square, usually if you get the question wrong, it'll fling you off the board. However, there are 2 death squares where if you stand at a certain spot on them, it'll fling you, but you can land back on the board. And since the game thinks you're dead, it turned off all of the invisible walls in order to throw you off. And so you can just then walk up and finish.
Lands on the board.
Skip it.
All right. So got to do one more. Arb on a 50-50 gets it wrong there after already having answered Cauldron Butt.
Stiv making his way to the final boss.
All right, Arb right behind with Furnace Fun Skip. Gets Furnace Fun Skip. Good. Alright, so let's see. Stiv opening up egg door. You need a lot of eggs for the grunny fight, so we're going to open this one up. Stiv getting the ding pot text skip. Stiv grabbing some feathers because there is a flying section in the grunny fight that he's got to do. Avoiding all of the grunty damage there with the ground pound recoil. There you go. Gets hit twice. Avoids falling off the castle. Doing really good at the grunty fight. Already done with phase 1 of the egg shooting. Double health is not required for 100%. The category is not called all note doors. Alright, so Arb now starting the grunny fight. Stiv about to do the fine section. Just is going to come down to these beak bombs. Stiv does get the first one. Does get the second one. Gets the third one, which means he's going to get the fourth one. And boom. Yeah, 100% has to do with getting all of the game totals. It's not about double health or anything like that because that's not part of the game totals.
So coming up right here, Stiv's gonna try to poop some eggs as this cutscene starts to get him inside this Jinjo statue right as it spawns.
And he gets it.
So if you do it, the cutscene will overlap.
Arb beak bombing at a downwards angle, but actually managing to hit Grunty with it. Stivity doing the Jinjo statues really, really well. And we're gonna see it come back here.
Arb misses the Jinjo.
Yeah, Arb misses it. So Jinjo-nator coming on lock for Stiv, and this race is just about over, folks. So Stiv's just got about a few more eggs to shoot in.
It actually looks like Arb will PB this run.
Nice. And that's game. GG to Stivitybobo.
Wins. However, Arb is on PB pace here.
What is his PB time?
He has a 2:08:39.
Oh, heck yeah. We're going to have a PB from Arb for sure.
And wow, this is a close race.
Yeah, what a great race.
Close.
Yeah, and Arb's got the time. He can definitely pull this off. Taking some damage there, but he doesn't care. And a 2:08:09! That's a new PB for Arb!
Wow.
Wow!
What a great time.
Wow, that's like a huge PB for him.
And that also puts him in the 4th place on the leaderboard.
Wow! Jumps him from 7th to 4th place. Unbelievable run from Arbliterator.
1 second
Amazing.
behind. 1 second behind 3rd place.
Wow! Amazing. GG.
Well done,
both
Arb.
runners. Good job, Arb.
Congrats to both runners. Congrats to Stiv for winning and moving on to the finals.
Wow, he missed 3rd place by 1 second. That is insane. Wow, what a run. So yeah, Stivitybobo moving forward into the grand finals, but man, I mean, Arb, I don't think he could have left this this tournament in a better way. Nice PB, congratulations. Hey Arb.
Hi.
Congrats on your PB.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
4th place. How does that feel?
Wow, I was not expecting that. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean, just from kind of some early game mistakes, but you really just clutched out an amazing end game there.
Yeah, oh my god, I was surprised with that. Lockwood.
You kept up with like Stiv from entering Rusty Bucket Bay through Click Lockwood. You were only like 10-20 seconds behind him throughout that entire section. So you had some great gameplay.
Yeah, were you aware of where you were compared to Stiv at all during the race?
Somebody told me that he choked somewhere in Rusty Bucket Bay, so yeah.
Yeah. So when you
basically,
right when you entered,
engine room deaths, he was just about 6 seconds ahead of you as you entered Rusty Bucket Bay. So it was insanely close, and you were holding your own throughout Rusty Bucket Bay and even Quick Clock Wood. And yeah, I mean, just ended less than a minute behind him. You've got to feel pretty proud about your run.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely the best run of the tournament.
Yeah, insane run. Yeah, very good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, 1 second away from third place even. So really, really good run.
Well, at least I beat Hag and Dick, so that's cool.
yeah,
I agree. Very good. Yeah,
'cause
sweet. So
you had some trouble in the run with like Bubble Goop Swamp and
Yeah. Every race, it seems to be a running theme. I will have a bad Clankers, a bad Bubble Gloop, a bad Gobies, then I'll play well later, and I'll gold winner. That's like the third time I've golded winner.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was insane winner.
Yeah.
Getting both beak bombs and even managing to grab the honeycomb on the first circle. So yeah, really, really good. And you looked really solid with your soft lock as well. So yeah. Well, congratulations. You know, you made it this far in the tournament. Sadly, Stiv is going to go ahead and advance in the grand finals. Do you have any words for him as he moves forward?
Yeah. Good luck.
Fair enough. Well, I think that's going to be it for us here today, guys. We've got the world record holder moving forward into the grand finals. Other semifinal, Arb obviously getting a huge PB. Can't be too upset with this race. If you're looking forward to more Banjo-Kazooie running, we do have the second semifinal coming up for you tomorrow night, and that is going to be Dickus Khan against Haganator, who are now respectively on the leaderboards 6th and 7th place with Arb bopping them. So it should be very interesting to see two people who were in 7th place now in two different semifinals. So stay tuned tomorrow. I'm sure we'll see a tweet out from Speed Gaming and you can tune in and watch. As for us, I've been Seeker Humor Man. And
Captain Cole.
And that'll be it for us. So thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.